So in this demonstration, we're now going to go through how I take my avatar and push it into AI to come up with some really, really good design concepts to take into actually creating your visuals as well. So we go back into AdSignals AI, we go back into our projects, we find our avatar. So for this one, I'm using Country Proud USA. We've got 5 avatars that we previously created here. Because we're in the holiday gift buyer season, I'm going to use this as our base. So first of all, I'm going to go in. I think I've already pasted. No, I haven't pasted. So I'm going to copy my prompt into Gemini. So the reason I'm using Gemini, and I can use the AdSignals AI, you can use any AI for this. I think Gemini generally works better because it plugs straight into Nano Banana, which is why I want my images created. I'm in Google AI Studio, which is the kind of back end of Google's AI, and it's not necessarily the front end. You can do a few more things here on the right hand side, which I'm not going to go through right now. That's kind of out of context. So what I'm going to show you here is how I use this prompt and how powerful it is as well. We spent months getting this right. So acting as my advertising creative director, give me 5 hooks with the creative psychology behind it, thinking like the ad greats such as Ogilvy, Halbert, Kennedy, and others, and why you chose this hook, including the core marketing concept. This is really important because I don't want it to just blabber on and give me all these things. I just want the core marketing concept, and you'll see why. Like Don Draper would present in a boardroom to his clients in Mad Men. Now, if you haven't watched Mad Men, you should, if you're into advertising. It's just really, forget the storylines and stuff, just the way he presents and stuff. I just absolutely love it. It's a good show. Anyway, I've included the avatar to base this on, finish it with a creative brief for Nano Banana AI to create visual concepts from. And now I'm going to say, here's the avatar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into AdSignals. I'm going to go after this particular avatar. So I'm just copying that and then pasting that here. So Control V, and it's kind of giving it all the info, and it's created in a kind of way that I know that AI likes it as well. So you don't need to worry too much about what's inside. It was AI generated for AI to do stuff like writing copy and things like that. So now what it's doing is it's taking my prompt and step by step thinking about what it needs to do to kind of present back the marketing strategy. And what's really important is what I'm doing here by saying acting as XYZ, I'm just telling it to just go and look at its own knowledge and think about what it means to be this particular person. And then here's the actions and here's the constraints. So the avatar. So we'll come back down, see what it's created. So all right, let's pour a drink and get down to it. You're not selling pieces of metal to hang on a wall. You're selling a feeling. You're selling a story. You're selling a solution to a problem that gnaws at every thoughtful person during the holidays. The fear of giving a gift that's forgotten the moment the wrapping paper hits the floor. Forget the product. We're selling significance. We're tapping into the heart of the American identity, heritage, pride, and deep unspoken bonds of family. And then it says, here are 5 ways we're going to make them feel it. So this is so cool the way it kind of puts it all together. I've been in pitches before, client side, where creative agencies have come in and they've spent tens of thousands of dollars and weeks to come back with what AI just literally did in seconds, maybe a minute at worst case. And I know there's going to be some hardcore creatives out there saying, well, this is, AI isn't as good as humans. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of getting there. So this is really cool. So presentation, 5 hooks for the heart of America. It's gone into a script, and you can kind of forget that. And I'm going to skip through its kind of story setting. You can kind of, by the way, if you're an agency and you're doing creative work, you can include this as part of your pitch. And you can go about it in this way as well. But I want to know what the hooks are. So hook number 1, this isn't a gift. It's your grandson's story. As a reminder, we're talking about Country Proud USA, and they create some amazing wall art pieces, custom designed, locally made. It's an amazing brand. We're trying to bring that to life for people. So this isn't a gift, it's your grandson's story. Honestly, that's a mind-blowing concept, because what we're doing is taking it away from just kind of, here's a gift and it's going to be fun and you're going to like it and stuff. It's actually your grandson's story. Now, the reason I love the power of this is back in 2014, 2015, I took a print-on-demand store to $26 million. And part of it was we just got the angles and hooks right. The creatives working in that business were amazing. David, if you happen to be listening, David was one of the founders. Like his ideation and his team's ability to just get to the core of how to communicate just made it so much easier for us to run ads. And we're running ads into the hundreds of thousands a day in ad spend. It would not be possible without these kind of core messages which just cut through the noise. So if that was the headline, it said this isn't a gift, it's your grandson's story, that's captured something. It's gone straight to the heart. So the psychology, we're tapping into the profound human desire for legacy and permanence. David Ogilvy believed in the big idea, absolutely. And what's bigger than immortality? Like, that's huge. What's bigger than, like, if you gift this thing to your grandson, it will live beyond you. What a concept. Like, you could, let's say you're 60 years old, you live to 80 years old, and you gave your grandson something when he was 4, and now he's 24 and you've passed on. What a legacy. Like, that's so powerful. And when you start to tap into that level of insight and psychology, you're creating emotions. You're going to create tears, and tears kind of sell as well. So it transforms a piece of metal into a piece of lineage. I can attest to that when it comes to personalization and things like that. That's huge. You're giving legacy. You're giving something that's so personal they're going to keep. If it's just a generic wall art, and I've got one kind of here, which is kind of map of the world. If I was to give that as a gift, or if I was to hand that over to my children, it's going to not really have any story behind it. But now let's say it's a wall art that it has captured the family and the essence of who we are. That's something worth keeping. So the core concept, heirloom marketing, concept positions a product not as a consumable good, but as a perpetual asset. Huge. I love this. So hook number 2, stop giving gifts that get forgotten by New Year's. That's good. Every family has a story. Tell yours in steel. Like, I'm already thinking about how I could turn that into videos, and using AI, of course, and creatives as well. A gift forged with American pride because it still means something. That's huge. That is huge. Dan Kennedy taught the power of speaking directly to a niche, passionate audience. This hook is a dog whistle for the patriot. It's a statement of quiet, confident principle. The phrase, because it still means something. Right now, the US is going through so much turmoil. If you come up with an ad that says it still means something to be patriotic, like the US still stands for something, and things like, whether you're on the right or the left or the middle or all of it, doesn't matter. That messaging is huge. That's the kind of stuff that gets presidents reelected. Like, I think this is super powerful. Hook number 5, the look of a custom commission without the price of or the paperwork. That's another big one as well, because actually when you look at some of the prices, there's nothing that's going to burst the bank. So if you look at something here, $70, $166 because it's a bit more personalized. This isn't going to break the bank. So like when you kind of look back at this, you might think it's going to cost $300-$400 to get a kind of personalized name plaque made out of metal and custom made and stuff. Well, it's actually not. So we're playing around with the concept. So 5 very good hooks. I'm not going to go through them all. You can pause it and read them if you want. It doesn't matter what's here. It's not your brand necessarily, unless your name's Laura and you own the brand. What you need to know is how we're actually putting this together. This is the codex that makes it work, the avatar. So you can use this prompt, but you need to have the input as well to make it work. And we did that through AdSignals AI. So now that we've got the 5 hooks, we now have the creative brief for Nano Banana. So the art of American gifting, generate a series of powerful, emotionally resonant visual concepts, etc., etc. So now I'm going to paste this in. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to paste it in. So we copy and paste that. Go to a new chat. Go to Nano Banana. Literally just paste. I'm not really, like, part of this is also just to show that you don't have to check everything that AI is doing. You can if you want, and if you're newer to it, you might want to read everything you're doing. But like the process I just showed you, I would just like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and like just get the creatives done. So here's number 1. This isn't a gift. It's your grandson's story. Nailed it. Like, honestly, just nailed it. Grandson, grandparent, the Miller legacy. This is perfect. I'm gonna download that. Like, I think it's super. I'm gonna be using that. Stop giving gifts that get forgotten by New Year's. You have to be careful with before after, but I think he's more in the health niche. So the Smith family established 2020. I think that's a good ad as well. I'm going to download that. Every family has a story. Tell yours in still. The Wilsons established. I think it's cool, man. I think this is good. 3 out of 3. Then what you do is, so you can get these kind of 3 creatives and say, okay, give me 3 more very different versions of hook 1. And this is literally the creative briefing process. So I kind of would use all 3 images, to be honest. And let's see what it comes up with when we say, right, give me 3 more versions, just to show you how fast it is. I say that and it obviously didn't do it for some reason. I'm just going to paste it back. But just to show you how fast it is to go from creating an avatar to just having visuals that are ready to run. And we've already followed the same process to create copy, and this is now creating the actual images. Okay, I need the 3 images. AI is super intelligent, but also sometimes just kind of doesn't think outside the box. So when I said I want 3 more very different versions of hook 1, if I'd said that to a designer, they'd take the image and kind of make 3 more. But AI needs a bit more prompting. Just realize the product. Okay, that's cool. So this is good. It's a grandmother. The other one was a grandfather. I'm going to download that. This one focused on future and aspirations. Okay, but I only want you to focus on hook 1, which is this. And I want you to come up with 3 very distinct, different visuals for me to use with meta ads. So I'm going to be a bit more specific this time, just to show you the approach to kind of get what you want to an extent as well. So let's just see what that comes up with. And by the way, I think it's fairly fast. As an image generation model, I have tested a lot. You don't always want fast, by the way, but when you're creating these kind of concepts, okay, again. Let me just try and change the prompt and see if that's. It's obviously a user error, but it kind of gets frustrating as well. 3 very distinct visuals for me. Give me or create the 3 different images for me. Just make it as specific as possible. Like, honestly, AI is like trying to ask my kids to do something. If you've got children, you'll understand. You have to be super specific. Otherwise, they'll kind of just, A, they're distracted, or B, they'll just kind of just do the minimal amount. So you kind of have to be specific. So here's a takeaway for you. When you're prompting the AI, think like you're speaking to a child and just kind of make it specific as you can. Like even here, like I asked for 3 and it's given me 2. Okay, fine. So the Harrison legacy, there's a kid, established 1920. Now, by the way, as a brand owner, you might kind of look at that and say, well, I don't produce those pieces and I'm downloading them. I don't know why, because I didn't even check. Like, what I should be actually doing is finding an example and saying, right, family, let's have a look. Let's see what, in fact, let's have a look. Crest, vintage. Okay, let's see what's in the holiday art. Okay, so let's actually just do it this way. I can't copy the image, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to swipe this. Laura, hope you don't mind. Okay, good. Recreate those images, but ensure the product itself is based on something we actually create here's an example. So again, I'm just showing you the process. You don't want necessarily, if you're an e-commerce store, to come up with images that are generic and doesn't represent the brand. I don't know, maybe, you know, if that did go up in an ad and the request came in to create it just like that, maybe the store owner's happy to do so. But you can actually merge and kind of put things together as well. So for this one, I pulled out straight from the website just to see what it does. And I'm kind of expecting to place the product. Like this one's perfect. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know why there's a dragon. Aiden's. Maybe Aiden likes dragons. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't know why it doesn't listen to me when I say create 3 more images like this, but in different settings. So you have to kind of go through this process, and this is why we have a platform like AdSignals where we kind of just take this prompting effort away from you, and it's just click, click, click. So at some point, maybe by the time you've seen this video or at some point close, we'll be replicating all of these functions just as clicks. So you don't have to actually type and go back and forth. And by the way, if you ever wonder why apps exist and people are not necessarily as successful with tools like Gemini and ChatGPT and the rest of them, it's because of this, because there is a lot of back and forth. And so, you know, when you look at some of the modules that we have and kind of what goes on into creating this, a lot of the time is just spent in getting the prompts right and making sure that AI understands. So even here, like it's come back with 1, even though I asked for 3. I don't know why it's done that, but it is what it is. So I think that's okay. I think that's pretty cool. Another 2 images, please, with different settings, same theme. I don't know, maybe it's just programmed to do 1 at a time. Maybe there's something here on the right hand side. I can't see anything. Yeah, I don't know. And by the way, you can actually change the aspect ratio. I forgot to mention that, but that's really important for Meta. It's coming back with the square format, which is kind of Instagram friendly. It can work on Meta, but obviously for Meta, you might want to consider 9:16 or something different based on what you're trying to create. So that was the whirlwind tour of how I actually create my images. Very fast and very easy using AI. Right now, I am a bigger fan of Nano Banana. By the time you've seen this video, it could be weeks or months in advance or behind from me creating this. And maybe I'm using something else. I don't know. That's another good ad, so I'm going to download that. So that's really the way. So you've seen the process all the way from the top to the bottom. I've got my brief that goes in. I think it's... Yeah, so the brief was done separately. You can do it in the same chat. I just wanted it separate. So it just shows the briefing process and the creative process to actually come up with some really kind of masterful angles. And I've just showed you 1 angle that we went deeper into, but you can go into so many more. And it's very easy to create a whole batch of creatives and copy and avatars and have those preloaded. And in a future video, I'll show you how to preload that into your ad account and be ready to use it as well. But that gives you a quick whirlwind tour of how we're creating visuals very fast as well for Meta ads and other ad platforms.